Welcome back, guys. This is Anime Degens episode 16. Guys, we got a couple of more fun topics for you guys tonight. The first being a really wonky review of The Night is Short Walk On Girl. We'll get into that in a little bit. But then after that, we have our anime side pieces, formerly known as What the Degens Watch. So if you want to go back and look at something like that, make sure to look out for that title. But first, I think we had some news, guys, right?
Yes, sir. So I just saw some really, really nostalgic, exciting news for people of my generation. So there's a new Beyblade show coming out. So if you guys were born in like the 90s and you went to school through Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Beyblade was like the next big hit. And I'm really excited for this because I'm probably gonna end up watching like 3 episodes and then going on Amazon and buying a battle top and just spinning it around in my house.
Yo, you wildin' for real. Yeah, I do remember playing this in like elementary school. I think this came out when I was like maybe in third or fourth grade.
Okay.
But yeah, we used to play in like the little block corner, so they would like all stay in one place. No one had like the little battle arena. Uh, but yeah, it was grimy out there, bro. We were taking each other's Beyblades and stuff like that. One
Oh,
dude,
you'd actually take them away from
Hey,
each
yeah,
other.
no,
Hey,
we really would. The parents caught on to that after a while. I remember I took one dude's all of his. I think he had three or four. I took all of his, and he like spit on me. Um, so needless to say, he got boxed the fuck up.
I was gonna say, hopefully you threw hands, bro.
Yeah, no, he was like my sister's friend, and he didn't really hang out with us, but he wanted to come play, and had to handle that. You know what I'm saying? But
damn, dude.
fun time in life.
Beyblades for pink slips.
For sure, dog. For sure. I want that Beyblade, dog. Give me that.
Oh,
They're doing
dude,
it different over there.
my so we used to bring him to school and we'd use like the bottom of the slide as our arena. And the bottom of the slide obviously wasn't fully enclosed. And we'd throw like 8 tops in this thing and they started launching out and hitting people in the shins and the arms everywhere. So they eventually got banned for injuring like third graders. But it was
Damn.
tough out in them streets, man.
Oh, I'm sure it was. That sounds like some serious injuries. We also had our shins a little scratched up, but I think the most fun part is having the most Beyblades there.
Yeah.
You only needed one, dude. You needed Dragoon with the super weighted metal ring. That's what you needed.
Yeah, I think I only had like 2. I don't even
Okay.
remember what they was with the arena, like y'all was talking about. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was just chilling.
I think I started off with like 2. I think the most I had at any one point was like 7.
That's because you're taking them away from other kids, bro.
I mean, yeah, it was tough out in the streets, bro.
Yeah, you got none.
The key to Beyblade was you needed the longer ripcord with the dragon head on the end of it. That was the secret. If you had that, you were golden.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. No, we were
Fancy,
into it.
fancy.
We were into it, dude.
Nice. But Tyler, yeah, you remember what happened? Not you, Tyler. The guy that spit on me was Tyler. And if you're watching out there, but we can run it back if you want. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like this is a message to me too. Damn.
Nah, dog, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you.
I'll meet you at the corner on the old block, dude. Bring your
Yes,
Beyblade.
sir.
Can I
So,
show up and just scream World Star or something?
Oh, I'm more than welcome. More than welcome. But guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, the first thing we're gonna do is the movie review of The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. This film follows a night out for two Kyoto university students. First, an unnamed woman who will referred to as Otome, or the black-haired girl, as in the movie, and then an unnamed man who will refer to as Senpai. So, like throughout the night, they both go on like separate, really like frivolous, kind of lighthearted journeys at times, where they meet some really, really interesting characters. This was a wild trip for all of us. Um, Double entendre right there. But just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, the film came out in 2017. It was directed by Masaki Yusaka, and it was based on the 2016, sorry, the 2006 novel of the same name. I picked this one, and the reason I did, one, it was really offbeat from what we've been watching. We've been watching a lot of Studio Ghibli movies, so I wanted to do something different. And also, it had one of a couple of awards. The first being like the grand prize for best animated feature at the Ottawa International Film Festival, which is the largest and oldest animation festival in North America. It also won the Japan Academy Prize Award for animation of the year that it came out. So it's got some credentials. But first, let's see what my co-hosts think about it, guys. Like, what was your first impressions of it?
Yeah, so I started watching this, and the only thing that went through my mind was like, if you bought this movie when it first came out, did it come with like mushrooms? Because this was some of the trippiest animation I've ever seen, and I've watched some really crazy shit.
Yeah, it was a little wild, man. Like right off the bat, um, the girl she swallows like a swallow of beer, and like her whole body deforms to like drink it, and that was like 2 seconds, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? But it was fun, man. What about you, Tyler?
I really enjoyed like the art style. The animation was pretty over the top, like they were saying. Uh, I don't have no issues with that. I like them both. I mean, we've seen some pretty over the top stuff, so it's
Oh,
good.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, it was a little different. It was very, very, very trippy animation, man. But I enjoyed it. Although for most of the film, I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah,
Just being honest with everybody.
I was like trying to avoid thinking about it too hard and really just trying to focus on the themes. And I got lost so many times just trying to like keep up with it because it was all over the place. I mean, like, this is the longest night I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of like what they were trying to convey. I think at one point she towards the end of the movie she says it felt like it was like a whole year in one night, and you definitely felt that throughout the movie. But just going into like the first phase, I broke it down in like three phases for you guys just to keep it digestible because it was just so all over the place. Like it started with like a just a dinner party, and old girl was drinking Otame. Um, how did y'all like this phase, man? Like it started off really fast, and old girl could put them back.
I think I found the first person who can truly decimate me in a drinking contest. Like, it basically opens up with her going to like the downtown area near the school, and she goes to this like third floor bar and just puts down like 7 cocktails in 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts, and like she was just down on them. I think she like had like four and maybe like 30 seconds of the actual movie, and then I think somebody bought her a couple. It was fun. I just didn't. I knew there was going to be like drinking involved because in the description it said like it's going to be a night on the town, but I did not know she was going to have a liver of a king. You know what I'm saying? Like it was fucking nuts.
Of a king?
Of
Bro,
a
that was
king.
that was of a god.
I don't even think
That
it
was
I don't even think it was making it to her liver. Let's be honest.
She never seemed drunk at any point.
dude, that alcohol was literally like she had like 6 cocktails. She had like a pina colada, a mojito, like I don't know what the other two were. And
Mhm.
she was just putting them fucking down.
And the
Yes,
wild
yes,
thing
yes,
is she never once went to the bathroom, bro. Did y'all pick up on that?
yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a good point. She didn't break the seal, so I guess she was good.
I was gonna say, when I break the seal, it's game over, dude. I would have probably peed in like 17 like times during this movie with how much she drank.
Oh yeah, constantly, constantly.
One thing I really enjoyed though that they done is that the people that she was drinking and partying with, the ones that was tipsy or drunk, they actually changed their colors to like a pink, like a reddish pink color to let you know that they was actually drunk. And our girl Otame, she never once changed colors. She, I think at the very end, but due to different reasons. So
Very true, very true. So
Which
go ahead.
I was gonna think I think it's really interesting because there's the classic term for when Asian people drink, they get the Asian flush where they get very rosy cheeked. And I
Yes.
think it's interesting that like the characters all got the Asian flush when it took place in Kyoto. Like they actually animated that in a way, you know?
the whole
Yeah,
body though.
yeah.
It was the whole body. Yeah, it was aggressive.
So I watched it dub, and I found the voice acting to be pretty decent. I heard a
Okay.
couple of familiar voices, but Tyler, you watched it sub, right? How was that?
Yeah, so the sub, was, pretty good as far as the voice acting goes. Usually subs are. Uh but I do not recommend watching this subbed just because of the how fast the movie goes, and you will not be able to keep up very well with what's going on the screen plus reading the subs. I mean, you had to, if you want to really pay attention to it, dub's the way. I think if the dub's good, I didn't watch the dub, so if the boys say the dub's good, then definitely watch it dubbed.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the dub. I couldn't figure out how to watch it subbed on HBO Max on my TV, so I just kind of said screw it. And there's one character, his name is Don Underwear, and we'll get into him a
Fucking
little bit
done.
later. But I heard him talk for 2 seconds, and I was like, God damn it, that's Frankie.
It for
Oh
sure was. That's
no,
who I
is
was
it
talking
really?
about. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I said familiar
Okay.
voice. Yeah.
Of course, they have Frankie playing the dude with the talking about the whole persona is about his underwear. So
Yeah, bro would not change his underwear. Sort of a hopeless romantic, but we'll leave you guys to figure out why he was doing that. Because it was I guess like a major plot point, and we don't want to reveal too much for you. Um,
Definitely. So our girl Otome here, or as they call it in the dub, the black-haired girl, she basically just meets two strangers at a bar, and like they instantly become best friends and just tear up the town. Like the two characters, her Nuki, which was her female drinking partner, and then Higuchi, which was like, I don't remember what they called him in the movie, but he was basically like just like a really free spirit who was just looking for ways to make easy money. And I loved that character, dude.
and
yeah,
he
he
had a
was.
huge chin, like
Oh, I mean,
Quagmire.
The
maybe
Crimson
even
Chin.
bigger. Maybe yeah,
The
it was more
Crimson
Crimson
Chin,
Chin for
dude.
sure.
But like this is like taking place in like, I don't know, 2011, 2012 Kyoto kind of vibes. And the man is still out there in like a kimono garb with like
He was
the
vibing.
the Fred from Scooby Doo like neck thing going on. I was like, this dude fucks.
Yeah, he was smoking his old school pipe, just chilling, relaxing, man.
He kind of
Um,
gave me like Popeye vibes.
He did kind of look like Popeye.
that's valid as fuck. Uh, but I really like the visuals. That's one thing that stood out for me throughout the movie. Um, like I said, Studio Ghibli. I mean, we've been looking at a lot of beautiful visuals, but I think this was beautiful in a different way. They kind of used the colors throughout the movie, like the same way JoJo Bizarre Adventure does, where it's like it changes a lot. And like even in a crowd, you could point out the main characters because they would have them colored very brightly, and the background characters really like in a grayscale. I enjoyed that. And just throughout each individual scene, it was just so bright. It was flamboyant. It was freeform. It was like it was like what I would imagine an acid trip to be. To be honest with you guys,
Yeah, it was very, very, very pretty, but it was also very, very, very surreal. Like
yes,
this was like that era of art where just nothing made sense. You know, like clocks melting left and right, like that kind of vibe going on.
for sure, for sure. It's not too intensive to the plot, but there was a scene when the black haired girl was drinking with some of the characters we just mentioned, and her clock was kind of like her watch, which she didn't have on the rest of the movie, which I found hilarious. That's just how freeform the animation was. It was whimsical. Um, her clock was going pretty normal. I counted it about a beat a second, like normal. But like the older guys she was drinking with, their clocks were moving super fast. I think they were businessmen. Like, what did you guys like take from that? Like, I wasn't really sure what to make of it.
Uh, Me personally, like, I didn't really know what to take from it, except like my best guess is that the old guys, they seemed like they was down on their luck, just bored and stuff like that. It just seemed like maybe their clocks was going super fast because they didn't have any purpose in life anymore. So time was moving faster for them. And her purpose in life was to kind of like have fun and stuff. And she actually had one. It seemed like for the most part, and that's why hers was going slower. That's kind of my thoughts on it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was more related to age. You know, when you get older, it feels like time is going faster. You're getting
Okay.
closer and closer to death. And, you know, our main character here, the black haired girl, she was living in the moment. She wasn't thinking about the
Big
past.
time.
She wasn't thinking about the future. And I feel like so the guys she's drinking with are a bunch of sophists, which are like, from what I understand, basically just people who like perfected the world of speech. And these guys would just talk back at each other constantly. And these are like the old version of them. They end up crashing a sophist party out of the blue on their crazy
Fun
night.
shit, man. They were looking for some entertainment for sure.
The dance they did was wild. I don't even think physically I can do that shit.
I don't
Like,
think physically many people can do that.
you
That was
gotta
one of my
check it out.
favorite parts of
You gotta check it
the
out.
movie.
This dance
Yeah.
was nuts. Like, it was. It's definitely worth it just to see what the fuck these guys were doing because it was so bizarre.
It was like
Yeah.
to describe it was like the crab walk kind of, except you know your body is horizontal to the floor, you know, and it's
They were
just
doing like
I don't know, man. It
it
was
was
just weird.
wild, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was.
butt sticking up
But
in the
they were
air, you
getting
know.
turn off that, man. They were getting mad turn off that. They
Yeah.
were enjoying it, man.
Body like 45 degrees, legs spread out like a duck, and then you're just waving your arms back and forth doing it. It was a trip.
Oh, just like the rest of this movie. To make it a little bit easier to digest for us three and to talk about, I broke this up into three phases of the movie. The first, like the party and the drinking. Otame was kind of like just going with whatever was in front of her. Then we have like the used book market, and then we'll get into the latter part, the last part of the movie, like the sickness. But before we get into all that, I was surprised when I looked. This had a rating of R plus. Did you guys think it was fitting of this movie? Like, I didn't think it needed all of that. Maybe like a normal R, but or maybe even PG-13 because they like censored a lot of things. Like, what did you guys think about it?
Well, I don't really understand the rating system anyways too well. I've never looked into it much. I just watch what I want to watch. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So,
We grown.
but I can see why it would be rated higher because it does have like a lot of sexual themes in it, but
True.
it doesn't seem to be like very like if you was a smaller kid, you probably wouldn't know what they was talking about, So, but it does have a lot of sexual adult themes in it. So,
Yeah, I guess is that R plus a Japanese rating or the American rating? Because this in America would probably be PG-13, I would say.
yeah,
That's
probably.
about what I thought it would be.
I don't know how the Japanese ratings do. I mean, the minute you bring in somebody showing off classical pornographic images with flowers over
Which was hilarious.
sections of the people, maybe that brings it to R plus in Japan. I don't know, but those guys were wild in the bedroom investigation committee, they called it,
Yeah, man.
which sounds so pervy.
It is 100% perfect.
Kidding me? Yeah, it really does. And it was perfect. Just letting you guys know.
Did you see the pitch? Like, I know you was just talking about, but the pictures, the artwork that they had, like those was like very mature. Like he said, they had flowers and stuff on them, but it was still very mature paintings.
You
or
could
art.
definitely see what was going on. Yeah, you could definitely see what was going on in those things, man.
I just loved how it was like Taisho or Ito like animations, like classic Japanese samurai, like the shit you see all the time, but then just humping.
No, it was definitely very, very, very different, man. I didn't look up the director of this film, Yuasas, and they say like a lot of his films or all of his films are very trippy like this, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I looked into him a little bit more, and he actually directed an episode of Adventure Time. I feel like most of our audience and probably you two have watched Adventure Time at least once. Does it surprise you that he directed one of those episodes?
I don't
does it
remember.
fit-
I don't remember any pornographic images in
Well,
Adventure
outside
Time.
of that,
but
just it being a little offbeat, I guess.
I mean, I haven't watched much. Like, I haven't watched much Adventure Time, but I would honestly love to see the episode that he did direct and just compare it to see if anything is similar. If he brought any of the this movie's vibes to Adventure Time, because Adventure Time's wild, anyways. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna say this is probably the episode where Jake the dog and Finn the human just find mushrooms and decide to eat them because they're hungry.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Um, but from the get go, like our two MCs, Senpai and the black haired girl, were very different from each other. Like I think someone even called them foils. One was one way, one was the other. Like, could you like describe that to our audience without like spoiling the actual story and explain those characters to everyone?
Yeah, so I'm not going to go too much detail, but Otome, the black-haired girl, she was very spur of the moment, very like what's the word I'm looking for? She went with the flow.
whimsical.
Yeah, whimsical. She went with the
Yeah.
flow, and Senpai was very calculated. Like he's been trying to get with this girl for like a year now, and he's just like plotting how to like just like casually run into her by quote
Uh,
unquote chance or
I think
coincidence.
He would like follow her around and like pop up in like her day to day life. He called it
I,
Operation Oppo, I think it was.
hey, I think that's called being down bad, boys.
I
Hey
think that
man,
is being down bad. My man was on another planet with that shit.
it's all by chance.
Coincidence, bro.
Fate, even. God bless.
So before I guess we get into the bookstore section of the movie, there is definitely, or the book fair, there's definitely one scene I want to touch on
Mhm.
because we saw two very different opposing sides of life. So basically, through Otome's drinking, she gets told she should challenge like the ruler of the Kyoto underworld, I guess you could call him.
Underworld, I don't think, but like, yeah, he was definitely like the ruler. Everybody was very, very afraid of him.
Yeah, I don't.
Rihaku is his name. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
And so basically, he's a booze hound too, just like our girl Otome here. And they basically are like, you should challenge Rihaku to a drink off because if you win, you'll get to drink this very elusive liquor that only he makes. And we get to the scene where they're having this drink off on a triple decker train that he lives on that travels through Kyoto, which is nuts. And she's very like loves life, very whimsical, like Tyler said. And this man is just down in the dumps. He's very pessimistic, and he's drinking because he's sad, and she's drinking because she's happy. And the way they animated this scene was just awesome, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
And he's very old. Let's not forget that.
He's
Oh,
older than dirt.
extremely, extremely. Um, I really enjoyed the way they animated it, but I thought the contrast between Rihaku and the black haired girl was really cool. Um, they were complete opposites. Like you said, like while they were drinking, Rihaku was like, "Oh, this is a sad, desolate world," and the black haired girl was like, "No, this is fantastic. This liquor's amazing," and he was like, "Oh, it's just okay." Um, maybe even disgusting to a point. And I thought that for me, that played into like the theme of the whole movie. Otame was very free spirited. Senpai was very, I guess I'm not gonna say, I don't think strict is the word, but like rigid in the way he thought. He was trying to force things to happen. And I thought this movie was about taking a different approaches to life and like one deciding your fate, but also just like walking and being open into everything. So I thought it was a good like microcosm of what the overall theme of this movie was.
Yeah.
But like you said, Dan, the animation was fun at this point. It was really, really fun.
And the party after the fact looked way more fun.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna say who wins, but going off that, you can probably figure it out.
Very true. Very true. Um, yeah, but like yeah, the drink off was really, really fun. I think after that we got into the actual like the book market, guys. And trying to stay away from the plot. It's hard to explain this movie and to like really encompass it without you guys actually watching it. I do advise you to go watch it to like, be able to understand our conversation a little bit better. Um, but Ryuko's going through the bookstore and she meets a mystical figure. I'm not even gonna try to say his name, but he's causing a lot of mischief for both of our characters, and I thought he was a good addition to the film. It was another character that made it even more fun to me. Did you guys like the god of the used book markets, Kami-sama?
Yeah, you nailed that. Why don't you try and say that, dude? Come on.
Oh, okay. So he has a last name, and that's not what I'm gonna try to say. So
Ah,
yes,
gotcha.
I wrote down his first name for a reason.
So this was a really weird part of the movie for me. Like, I didn't really know what was going on. I know that she was looking for a specific book from her childhood,
Mhm.
but they went into this whole conversation about how all books are connected. And it was super cool to see. But like his character just felt really out of place to me. Like it was just super random, you know?
So when he started, like, I'm not sure how it went for y'all, but when he started going into the spiel about how all books are connected and started like going like really fast paced, do you
Good
do
luck.
y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, good
Yes,
luck. Good luck
exactly.
watching that subbed.
Uh,
Holy shit.
yeah. So I just let it happen and just didn't pay attention because I couldn't. There's no way. It's just, he was just talking like a mile a minute, and everything was going everywhere on the screen, and I'm just like, holy shit, bro. What the hell is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly think like this is, I like to watch dub. I'll be honest with everybody. But I watch some sub, especially with anime I like that are coming out fresh and new. You kind of have to watch it sub to keep up with the weekly. But I think this movie is probably for English speakers best enjoyed dubbed because it's so fast and like you really want to be able to take in like all of the artwork at the same time. Because I find myself, like staring at the bottom of the screen where the text is going to show up so I don't miss anything. I'm a pretty fast reader, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I watched this dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, during his spiel, Kami-sama went from like 12th century like French authors to like mid 1900s Japanese authors in literally like a minute and a half. Just talking. He rattled
Maybe
off
even quicker than that,
he
honestly.
rattled off like 15 different authors that fast in books and novels and how they're all influenced by each other. It was insane. Like really good by the author of the book to put that much into one little like probably 3 or 4 paragraphs, you know?
Yeah, and I think it was like kind of true what that god. He looked like a kid. I thought he was a kid for 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Same.
But I think it's really true. Like about books and authors and even artists, they all get inspiration from each other. Um so art is connected, it's connected to other art, it's connected to real life, and I thought it was cool that they pointed that out. I had never really thought about it in that way. Um so it's cool to see him actually put that in words, and like then the animation was, it made everything flow together in the different books and the arrows and the highlighting. It's fucking dope.
Definitely. What did you guys think about the scene where Rihaku was holding his little aggressive auction to get a piece of his library, essentially, whether it was pornographic books or certain books or whatever, and they're eating out of this hot pot, which was literally molten lava, and all of the people like doing it, their lips swelled up like 30 times the size of what they normally are, and the animation was really surreal there. What did you guys think of that?
Look, I'm convinced that this whole movie is not real. I'm convinced that it's a dream or something else because none of this shit makes sense. That's what I think.
Oh, dude, it's just meant to be watched when you're on drugs. There's no other explanation for it.
I thought the scene was really cool. We got to see some determination about from Senpai, where he was normally really reserved and shy throughout a lot of the movie until maybe the very end, and the visuals were amazing. Have either of you guys ever had hot pot?
Yeah.
No, if it's hot like that, then I don't want it. Keep
This
it
was
away.
like hot pot is like you have like a big pot in the center. This was like molten lava pot. This is a different animal.
Yeah, typically a hot pot, like you get to choose like your meats and your vegetables and whatever else, like
Oh, I've had that
mushrooms and
before.
whatnot.
I got some Cambodian friends, so I think they've had something like that going on before. So
Okay, yeah. No, I love hot pot, and it was cool to see this in the movie and to see how they portrayed it. Um, Ikaku was being devilish with it though. It was fucking funny, bro. It was awesome. I really
I
enjoyed
don't
it.
I don't know, man. Like there's easier ways to like win over girls, hearts besides eating lava or something. Just I mean, go
The
up to her
food
and
the
be like,
food was so hot that they were hallucinating.
like I don't
Tight.
know, just walk up to her and just be like, "Notice me, senpai." You know,
But
I don't think
how,
that's not proper Riz, but we'll take it.
I was gonna say, how is senpai gonna call somebody else senpai, dude? Come on.
hey, it works sometimes. Try it. I don't know.
I don't have to. Hopefully happily married. I'm good on my end.
Yo,
Yeah, I won't be eating any lava pots for dates. For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Um,
Unless she's
Oh.
into it, dude.
no. I don't like burnt taste buds. I also took a look at the wiki page for this movie. Rihaku is actually also like a mystical being. Did you guys pick up on that at all? Because that did
No.
not come across to me in the movie at all.
I don't think he was portrayed as a mystical being, but you're talking about in like actual.
No, like the wiki for this movie.
Okay.
Under his character, he is supposed to be like a mystical being. The only way I could have picked up on it was how connected he was with the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With him getting sick and then the whole town going gloomy and getting sick after one after another. That's the only way I could have picked up on it, but I would not have known that at all without reading this.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go for it, Tyler.
I was gonna say, I'm telling you, that supports my ideals even better. That this shit isn't real. This is a dream or something. Like, it has to be, and that supports it even more. So that's all I will say.
It's a really good acid trip, is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's not real. It can't be real.
um, and like I think the biggest thing for me was the animation. Like, did you guys think it did a good job of actually like conveying the mood of this movie?
Yeah, I definitely think it did. When you get to the end of it, and there's a section where Senpai comes down with the cold that the entire town comes down with, potentially due to Rihaku's gloominess and how he is as a person.
Allegedly.
Senpai gets it 10 times worse because he's a gloomy motherfucker. And like, there's this insane scene, like I can't even begin to explain it, of like his internal monologue during like his fever dream. And I think it really conveyed the scene or the movie really well, because with this whole cold thing, Otome is visiting all the people she's met through this crazy ass night. I don't know how people go from feeling normal and having a good time to getting a cold in less than like 3 hours, but that's not me.
Drinking way too much.
The entire town, brother.
Well, I mean, yeah, the entire town. There's a few characters that drank entirely too much though.
Otome included, but good for her. She's a legend. But
Undoubtedly, yes.
her it's kind of like a balance of like her personality, like basically overcoming the gloominess of a town and healing everyone is kind of the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. I thought she was a really good character. I thought she was written well. And, as odd as the animation was, there are some things that we left out, guys, that you definitely should go check out. But I think the characters were well written. They served their purposes really, really well. Were there any characters that you guys just didn't like or thought that were written poorly? I didn't pick up on any myself.
No, I can't really think of anybody I didn't like. I think if I had to pick a favorite, it was definitely Higuchi, the modern, I don't even know what you want to call him. The dude with the big chin. He was probably my favorite character throughout the entire
Okay.
show.
Cool.
For me, my favorite character, I don't know. I really liked Don Underwear. His whole
Oh, you took mine.
spiel, his whole
Yeah.
spiel, especially towards the end. It was just really he just was a really fun character to watch, I guess.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say Don Underwear. Yeah, he was my favorite character outside of Otame. Um, Outside of that, the most entertaining. I don't think he's like my favorite, one of my favorites, but Toto, the smut artist or like the collector or whatever. I just thought he was fucking hilarious, getting punched out a couple of times. Just overall being an odd dude. I think he added a little bit of like pizzazz to the story for me,
He was fun. He was really fun.
for sure.
what was y'all's like favorite scene of the show without like spoiling stuff? The favorite part, scene, something like that.
I definitely think it was the scene where Otome was drinking with a bunch of old dudes.
The
That was so
dancing.
fun to see. Yeah, the dancing and everything else. That was really fun to watch.
I think mine would be I think it's the last like guerrilla theater scene with Don
Oh,
Underwear.
okay.
I thought it
gotcha.
was
The
impactful.
finale.
Yeah, the finale, and I thought it was also hilarious.
It was wild. No spoilers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I really liked the dance, what that Dan mentioned. That was really good. But one of my favorite parts besides that was the actual what Dave was talking about earlier, the monologue, the inner turmoil of Senpai. Like that shit was wild. So
I was so confused where the Cowboys came from during that, man.
a loose
Hey.
cannon, straight up loose cannon.
I was surprised about a lot of things, though. Yeah.
I was surprised by all of it. Yeah, when I picked this for us, like I was just trying to do something like offbeat, and I think I hit the mark as far as that goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
we
think we got to get a little more grounded with our next movie because if we keep
I'm
watching
okay
these,
with that.
we're all going to end up just buying acid eventually if we keep watching these.
But cool, guys. I think that covers like most, if not all, of the movie, front to back. Um, would you recommend our audience watch it? And like, do you have a rating for it?
I definitely recommend they watch it. I'm still trying to digest it, so I don't know if I have a rating yet. Like, this shit was insane, dude. I mean, like, based on the visuals and the overall plot, it's probably like a 7.3 for me,
Okay.
which is a pretty good rating. As you guys know, mid is 5 for me, and like my favorite show of all time is like a 9.1. So if you're in the middle of that, it's a pretty good show or movie.
For sure.
Yeah, I would probably say definitely check it out, but check it out dubbed. Do not watch it subbed, because of how fast paced it was, which was a big complaint for me. But I think it still would have been fast paced if I watched it dub. But at least maybe I would have been able to enjoy the animation and the colors, which is one of the main parts about this show, because it is a very good animated and colorful show. And I would probably give it like a 6.5 or somewhere around that mark. It was pretty funny, considering that you I don't even know what to say about it. Drugs. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a little too off the rails to comprehend in Not Your Native Tongue is like what I think the moral of the story here is. Like, as much as I prefer subbed for watching a lot of this stuff, but like I don't think I could have kept up like Tyler's saying with this. It was all over the place.
Okay. Yeah, I usually watch like the movies like a couple of days before we record. So I usually have a little bit more time to digest and like think about how I like it. So I'm kind of like you, Dan. Like I don't really it's around that 7 range for me, but I haven't like settled on like a actual number. But if I had to say, I think it's like a 6.8, 6.7 for me right now. But it was it was very, very enjoyable to me. I like just how bizarre it was. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that if we like went through it and watched it a second time, maybe, and maybe with friends or something, you know, as well, I think the rating would go a little bit higher, honestly, especially in dubbed. 'Cause
Oh,
it,
watching this with a crowd, like or a group of friends, would be hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, I think the fact that we've all had time to kind of digest some of the themes of the movie too, rewatching it would give you the ability to pick up on that more because it was a fucking roller coaster. And when you're at the peak of a roller coaster looking down, you know, a 75-foot drop, you're not thinking about themes or anything. So I think watching it a second time would really help.
for sure. Okay, okay. But well, I'm glad you guys liked it. Like I said, I went off the beaten path here. But good shit. Good shit.
oh yeah.
So
Awesome. You guys want to get into our really casual conversation because we're recording a week and a half early because I'm going on a massive trip and I appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, of course, man.
Awesome. So we're keeping it real light, real simple. We've done this before, but we're changing the name because the weekly rundown is pretty much our girlfriends at this point. So we're calling this our anime side pieces. These are the shows we're watching on the side. You know, we're all watching the weekly rundown shows, the 5 or 6.
6 right
6.
now.
6 that we're following. And obviously, you know, being fans of anime, we're watching a few shows on the side that we don't talk about on the podcast every week. So we figured, you know, being the midpoint of the seasons, it'd be a kind of a fun thing to talk about. I'm going to hand it off to Bass to get us started. So go for it,
Okay.
Bass. Let us
All
know.
right. All right. All right. All right. I thought I was gonna go last, but
I can start if you want us
no,
to.
no, I got it. I got it. I
Okay,
got it. I
okay.
got it.
Yeah, dude, you dirty, bro.
For sure, for sure. So I've been watching Vinland Saga season 2, and I know like Dan really enjoyed season 1. I think he might even be done with it, but the reason I've been watching this is like season 1 was so like well paced. It had great choreography. So like I was really interested to see more, and they kind of gave us like an off speed pitch. I did mention a few weeks ago when we talked about Vinland Saga that like it was, you know, it was kind of like Game of Thrones where like there were some cool fight scenes and battles, but it also gave us like a lot of I'm gonna say politics. You know,
Yeah.
it went into different characters' backstories and it made them be intertwined. So like the battle slowed down a lot. So I kind of felt like it was a bait and switch. But it's still the slow burn that it's turned into fits the story. And I think it's very, very important to be able to tell those different stories and to kind of see how the characters have grown up in a sense. And then like a lot of the characters changed so significantly. Like if they didn't say their names, you probably um wouldn't recognize them other than like their faces. Thorfinn's very different. We got King Canute that's really, 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 really different. But I'm still enjoying it a
Well,
lot.
speaking of that, isn't the season 2 animated by Mappa this time?
Yeah, I believe it was animated by Mappa both times.
Well, I think
Um,
the first season was Wit, was it not?
Yes.
oh, the
Yeah, it
first
was.
season
So
was Wit. Yeah, so the second season is Mappa.
so
Um,
did you notice any like big changes besides like appearances from the two studios?
so the main thing I noticed was like so you know how like Mappa's the same studio that does AOT, right?
Well, the
Yeah.
last part
It
of
Yeah,
it.
was
yeah, the last part
and it was
when you a big visual change, right?
yeah.
Wit was the
And
beginning
it was
too.
actually, yeah, it was Whip before that. So it was the exact same
Yeah.
transition.
Right. So it you can kind of tell that Mappa is taking over on it. You kind of know how like AOT does like the lines of the face whenever somebody's like feeling some type of way. They kind of do the same thing in season 2. And I kind of suspected that the animator had changed. But you telling me that is the first I'm hearing of it. I didn't really look into it too much. I've kind of just been watching this casually with my sister,
Yeah, I know
aka
it was a big deal, you know, when they switched to Mappa in for the second season or whatever. So
yeah, but like outside of like the faces, The animation's pretty consistent. Like, it wasn't like that big switch like you had with AOT the first couple seasons to the last couple seasons where, like, you can tell, like, in their flashbacks, you compare the 2 scenes between the 2, studios, like, I don't think you'd be able to do that, at least it being to that degree of change. So, they kept it consistent at least, which I like. Um, but there were some points in, like, when in the characters' faces where you could feel it was different and it was a little bit more heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, going off that, Wit keeps fumbling the bag, dude, because they keep giving up some of the biggest shows to come out. Basically,
I wonder what's going on in there that they're making these shows do that.
so I looked into it, and it's the fact that the DVD sales and things of that nature
Mhm.
aren't where they want them to be. And I think they're just forgetting that everybody streams stuff these days. So if they're not
Right.
seeing enough profit out of it fast enough, they're saying like, "Hey, we don't want to animate the second season of this." Basically,
Okay, okay, and, I don't think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, like, we watch almost everything, everything, period, not just anime, movies, TV shows, like, American media, no matter where it comes from through streaming
Online.
services, man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's through streaming services. So that I don't think Wit did a bad job with season 1. I thought season 1 was like maybe like an 8, a mid 8 for me. So I don't really see why it got taken other than, like you said, Dan sales.
fumble in the bag, dude.
Unfortunate for them, but yeah, Napa's been doing a great job. The story has changed significantly. I'm not going to try to spoil it for anybody, especially you, Dan. I know you want to watch season 2, but it's different. It's different. Like I said, it's a little bit of a bait and switch, but it's fun. It's still very, very fun. It can have you frustrated at times, um, which I think the first season did as well with Thorfinn. But it's still been a very, very fun watch to me. I've been ripping through it about as quickly as I can. I've been out of town a lot the last few weeks though. But my second little side piece is Doctor Stone. I had a lot of catching up to do. I watched season 1 way, way back when it first came out. So I did season 2, the special episode, Ryusui, and then season 3, I'm like 4 episodes in. So like I can't talk too much about season 3, but season 2 was very, very fun. We finally got to see the battle between the Kingdom of Science and the Tsukasa Empire. And there were some unexpected twists that were pretty fucking phenomenal, boys. I'm not gonna, like I said before, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's dope, bro. It's mad dope. Um, and there's like some elevated conflict, obviously because the war is starting, and as you watch the season and the war goes on. Um, but one thing that they did different um was, how like in season 1, think I had you guys watch some of this. They
Yeah.
explained every little thing about science when they were building it. It's a little bit more fast paced. It picks up, and they don't delve too much into the science. They kind of they still keep it realistic, but like he just makes things. He has a lot of his base science already done, so he doesn't go into it. Senku doesn't really go into it too much, and it kind of focuses more on the different characters and the personalities, which is really what I've been enjoying. Risui is a whole different animal
He's
than
that
anybody.
he's that guy, dude.
Yeah, man's a real genius, but in a different way than Renku is. The hour-long special was really, really fun. But they did add a few, I should say, modern world aspects. One of which I don't like. Even in the real world, I don't like. So I'm worried about where that's going to go as we get later into the story, maybe later into season 3 and beyond. Um, but yeah, it's still very, very, very fun. Still probably, as of right now, Doctor Stone is definitely in my top 10 all time.
Oh, okay.
Which in Doctor Stone, I don't know why they don't get a lot of love. Um, it's highly rated, but I don't think as many people watch it as I think should. So, guys, our audience, please go check this out. Give it some support. I want this to keep going, but it's just a really good anime.
Yeah.
And
Oh, go
go
for it.
ahead. I was
No,
gonna say season 3, that is spring anime, right? It's currently airing. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was going to say I've been watching season 3 and I really like the transition of the show. So the first season was survival. Season 2 was the war.
Whoa.
And season 3 is all about adventure. And I'm really enjoying where it's going. Like, they're finally leaving Japan, and I'm not going to tell you where they're going or anything because I don't even fucking know at this point. But like,
America.
the engineering has gone from like 0 to like 30,000, and I'm here for it.
Ooh, I'm glad you didn't say 100. It is 30,000.
It's a little past 100. They went to 100 pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they made what was it? The medicine in like 2 weeks or whatever it was. I was like, okay, they're
like,
pretty
whoa.
good here. They're pretty good here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like has something to do with like the other people in the show learning about science and trusting it more. So he doesn't have to convince people to work on things. They just trust him now. So he can get things done a lot quicker. So like even though you're kind of losing the aspect of everything being explained to you, it's still kind of staying true to what it is at the same time. So dope stuff. The last one, guys, you two know I've been watching this, and I'm gonna have a hot take here in a second. But it's Bleach. It's Bleach, boys. I'm on episode 155 right now. I've been skipping the filler. I've been watching it for a couple of months now. I know it's probably in a lot of people's top 10, but this is like it's okay to me. It's getting better, but it's still in like that 6.5, 6.7 range for me out of 10.
Boo.
Man.
I just don't identify with many of the characters.
Ichigo is disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed in Ichigo.
I think so the thing with this show is like the problem is you're watching it now and it is dated.
It is.
So I think you're like comparing it to like Jujutsu Kaisen and like stuff coming out nowadays, when Bleach was the inspiration for that show. Like,
right.
And if you watch Bleach when it was first coming out back in like 2008 to 2012, it was up there with Naruto, dude. It was like the same time as Shippuden, and this was just a kind of a different level of a different vibe for the anime, but like it was right up there with that shit, at the time.
I'm sure like part of it is nostalgia for a lot of people. But like you said, it does seem dated to me. I was looking online at what other people thought about it in like recent reviews. They were saying it still holds up. But I think that's like the rose-colored glasses that people have on.
Well, I watched it. I didn't watch it back then.
Here we go.
But I watched it a couple years ago, like 1 or 2 years ago. I forget which.
Yeah.
And back then, when it ended, like shit was starting to like it was picking up a little bit more, again, and then it ended, and then you have to go and read the manga, which we're on now. We finally got to see Thousand Year Blood War animated, and like this is if this stuff would have been like animated like it is now in the Thousand Year Blood War, like this show would get so much hype for current like newer anime,
right. And it would have a huge budget. It's Bleach,
people,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Going off that, I want Bleach Kai so bad, like they did with DBZ back in the day when they reanimated it and cut out all the filler, and they gassed up all the fights. Like I want Bleach Kai so fucking bad, dude.
Okay.
So, because I remember watching this, and the first like so many episodes was so hard to watch because it was like in 480p and stuff like that. And
and it has like the 3:4 ratio. So
the black boxes on the side or whatever.
Yeah, I got a 55-inch TV, and 2/3 of it is is black box. So it takes me out of it a little bit. To be honest with you.
But once you get past that, it's actually pretty good. But I understand that that you was kind of rushing it along too, which probably hurt your perception of it as well, I think.
Right. It took a little bit of the enjoyment out of it for me. I know we're gonna have to like review this when it comes out and watch it watch it week to week. When this next arc comes out this summer. Of course,
we have to.
I mean, this is like one of the big hitters of anime all time.
Hey,
but it's
I'm
not.
just sad.
I do. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'm about to get into a whole discussion, dog. Go ahead. And handle that.
I was going to say, I'm just sad that we didn't start this podcast last fall, because last fall would have been a banger weekly rundown, just like we're gonna have coming up this summer. It would have been even better last fall. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, but summer is gonna be hot, in more ways than one for sure. But so guys, it's not just the animation for me. Um, like I said, like I don't have like a really really good connection to the characters. Um, I'm on episode 155, and even at episode 100, I'm gonna try to use that as like a marker, right? Compared to something like One Piece, which is a lot longer, the pacing is a lot slower. But at that point in One Piece, like we had already had Arlong Park, we had already had like Baratier, and like by that time,
I think
episode
Alabasta was just ending.
I'll say, yeah. Starting.
You were in the middle
No,
of Alabasta.
Middle,
Yeah, you
middle,
were in the
yeah.
Alabasta ends on 130.
Yeah,
so
so you were in the
about
middle of it.
You
That
were
was
in
like
the middle of Alabasta.
70 episodes, dude.
Yeah.
No, it ended on 130.
He's saying episode 100.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. So like 100, like you were already in Alabasta. Like,
Yeah.
and I started watching One Piece in like maybe 2018. Like it just hit different for me. Like I would by episode 100, I was like, I need to see these characters succeed, and I don't feel that way with Bleach. You look at Naruto episode 100. Tsunade is already Hokage. We've already seen so much. We have like a lot going on by then, and I was already really ingrained with the characters. Even though I watched that when I was a kid, it's just not linking me. My favorite character is Chad right now, and like I don't think even he is not that interesting to me.
But the thing is like Naruto and all these other shows, they actually had goals. Well, Ichigo, he really don't have any goals except for to keep his friends safe. That's his main goal. Is he's not aspiring to be Pirate King or anything like that. He just wants to be left alone, honestly.
Right.
And he just gets drug into shit, and he's the only one that can actually put up a fight, I guess you can say, against some of these people.
Yeah, it's more like a pull narrative, like where he's getting pulled through the story, and like the other two shows I watched about, like they're trying to push through. So I think that's a little bit of difficulty for me, but I don't know. Like it's like I said, it's getting better. It's a 6-7 right now. It's definitely going to go up as things are getting more interesting. I'm in the Rancor invasion arc, which has been mad cool. But starting off, like the Substitute Soul Reaper arc was kind of like meh to me.
Have you seen Nell yet?
I have seen Nell. Nell's already saved.
The baby version only.
Yeah, I've seen the baby version. Yeah, you
not
guys have
the other version.
Yeah,
I just can't believe you watched the Soul Society arc to rescue Rukia, and you didn't get chills down your spine when you hear Byakuya for the first time go Bankai, and you just see the.
Yeah, y'all hyped it up so much that like
it is.
Yes, bro. What do you mean?
You guys hyped it up so much to where I was expecting a lot more than what it gave me, I guess.
Bro.
Like, does that make sense? Like
Bleach is number 3 for me on my top 10 list.
Holy shit.
Number 3.
I'm really, this is a hot take for real. But like, have y'all ever been to like a really like a good restaurant, but your friend was like overhyping it to where you thought like, oh, I thought it was gonna be a little bit better than this. That's how I feel.
I think you're just looking at Bleach through. I need to watch this in 300. I need to watch 300 episodes in 3 months.
Maybe
miserable eyes, because that arc is fucking
not miserable,
awesome.
Bro.
That arc is
not
fucking
miserable.
awesome.
It was good, but like you guys like really hyped it up.
But you gotta take into account that me and Dan and I, we love this shit, and we hyped it up because that is hype,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's 3 or 4 on my list too, dude. So
okay, I'm gonna let y'all have y'all do y'all side pieces.
Hey man, you're about to put My Hero Academia in your top 10, so your opinion doesn't really matter to me at this point.
Fuck you. I said it's getting there. Getting there. But y'all go ahead, man.
I guess I can go next to bring some hype back to the podcast and get rid of this pessimistic ass attitude we just got blindsided with.
Sorry, boys.
Hey, and Dan's meant to be Ichigo, and and out
Ichigo's
of
my
I
us
don't
boy,
even
three,
dude.
really like Ichigo
he's
like that,
dissing
but we don't gonna
you.
talk about that.
Ichigo's my boy, dude.
And Kubo, man, Kubo don't
Kubo,
miss.
Kubo is a savage, dude.
Y'all can keep them, but yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Well, so I guess to get started, the first show I've been watching, it is a weekly right now. It's a Spring 23 anime. It's called Magical Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
This show's nuts. So it was created by Jun Inagawa and is animated by Burberry Animation Studios, who I've never heard of.
Burr.
Did you look up any of the shows that they've done?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I grabbed this really quick before we recorded, but like the animation's really fun. It kind of gives off like that late 2000s vibe. And the opening sounds straight out of like a late 2000s show before it has like a psychological breakdown 3/4 through it. Tyler knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like literally the music just dies and it goes so much like crazy ass fucking static with crazy visuals. There is literally a live cat in the opening for this show.
Are you talking about I was gonna say, you talking about the OP?
Yeah.
That shit, it was not what we watched on the episode 1, was it not?
No.
And then the second episode was just like, what? What did we watch? This reminds me of the shit that we just watched for the movie that we just talked about. Is that kind of trippy?
Yeah, dude. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're very familiar with otaku culture. Basically the love of all things nerdy, anime, action figures, waifu pillows, the usual stuff that we all love and enjoy. Maybe from a distance for some of us. But so the plot of it is, very briefly, in a dystopian near future Japan, circa 2011, the SCC, a mysterious organization, has indoctrinated most of Japan into accepting the destruction of otaku culture, where their Shogun army round up all otaku and their prized possessions into concentration camps. Resisting the efforts of the SCC are a revolutionary army led by a trio of magical girls, think fucking Sailor Moon, named Anarchy, Blue, and Pink, guided by a young man only known as Otaku Hero.
Okay.
After 3 years fighting through remains of Akihabara, Anarchy decides to go on the offensive and reunite with her fellow magical girls to gain back the culture they know and love from a repressive regime. So right off the bat, this show sounds nuts. And I remember watching the trailer and going like, what the fuck is this going to be? And I watched like 4 episodes and there's a scene in like episode 2 or 3 where there's literally like waifu anime pillows being used as weapons. And it's just off the fucking rails.
Okay.
It's a fucking trip, dude. It has like a really dark overtone though, but they really bring in the nerdy culture to make it really funny, which I really enjoy.
And another thing that he there's this dude on there, the main, I don't know if you want to call it the main character or not, but his name's Otaku Hero. And when Dan first started watching this show, I wasn't watching it at the time. He was like, you should watch this. Otaku Hero is you, Tyler. I'm like, bro, is that a compliment or what?
It's true though. It's true. He's got glasses. He's got brown hair. You put a helmet on Tyler, he looks the exact same way.
So I think the reason like we hadn't heard too much about this studio, Burberry has only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 anime released.
Yeah. And I looked it up as well, and the only one that I know besides Magical Destroyers is Quintessential Quintuplets, so which is a big hit, rom-com.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, they're a newer studio. Like, they're they started in 2017. So yeah, they're newer. That's why we haven't heard of them. That makes sense.
Gotcha. But yeah,
they've done a good job.
Yeah, no, they've done a good job. This show is really fun. It's like if you're looking for like a random ass show to watch, so you're just gonna have you laughing, but also has like a pretty good plot. This is definitely a good fit for that. I mean, the characters, like the 3 magical girls, are Anarchy, Blue, and Pink. Anarchy's a badass. She's aggressive. She's kind of like your what's the term they use in all these slice of life shows you love so much for like your fiery
shit.
Sue.
Damn, you put me on the spot, bro. Tsundere. Yeah.
Tsundere. She's kind of like a Tsundere character.
Okay.
You got Blue, who's horny as fuck.
Yeah, by the way, I would not recommend watching around kids because these chicks, some of them have ball gags in, you know?
Nice.
Hey,
So-
yo. Hey,
Nice.
yo.
No, I'm just
Nice. And then Pink is the third magical girl, and she loves drugs. She fucking
Yeah.
loves drugs. Her power up is she literally just fucking stabs a needle in her neck and gets roided out.
Yeah.
That's
Bash, you're
interesting.
missing
That's
out,
different.
bro.
Okay.
She wears a gas mask at all times, and the only two words she says are gobo gobo, gobo gobo. And Blue has to translate everything.
Yeah, gobo, gobo. Gobo, gobo, gobo.
But like they're doing the whole revolutionary army versus the big baddie guys. It's been a really fun show. But yeah, it's a freaking riot, dude. I have enjoyed it. I'm like kind of like, what the fuck am I watching half the time? But it's been really fun. I know Tyler's watching it too.
Yeah, I like it as well. It's been a fun watch.
I'm about to go
So-
check this out, boys. Yeah. Y'all got me interested for real.
Yeah, it's wild. So
It's very dystopian, you know. I think every show I have on here is probably a little dystopian, you know. I love that
Oh,
shit.
really? Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me get to the next one. So I'm also watching 86, which has 2 seasons right now. I'm 6 episodes in. It's based on a manga by Asato Asato, and it's animated by A1 Pictures. So
okay.
basically, 86 is the story of 2 ends in a fictional war. The Republic of San Magnolia and another country who I can't remember the name. I think it's like Gale or Gaul or something like that. But basically, the opposing country has autonomous drones that they use to fight San Magnolia. And San Magnolia says they have autonomous drones, but they're actually piloted by people who aren't a part of the master race in the show, the Alba, who are like white
Oh,
haired.
no.
Yeah. So basically, the Republic is lying to the citizens, saying that these are all autonomous drones, and it's actually children who are put in a concentration camp that are piloting these drones. And they just they consider them pigs. They are below people. They are inferior, and they have them piloting these drones as slaves.
Damn.
So this is kind of giving me Iron-Blooded Orphan vibes.
It has a Gundam vibe to it,
Yeah.
but they're not like Gundams. They're like little like spider drones that they fight in.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm very surprised this is not a cooking show because I spent some weeks in a kitchen. I'm not made out for that. I respect anybody that's watching that works in a kitchen. When you 86 something, that means something's out. You can't serve it anymore. So that's what when he said 86, I thought that like it was going to be like a cooking show, which would have surprised me coming from Dan. But this makes much more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good setting show. Basically, 86 is the region where all the internment camps are.
Got you.
I was going to say, what do you think 86 means? But never mind.
Yeah, so it's the region where it's basically just a region full of concentration camps for people who aren't part of the Alba race of people.
Gotcha.
But like it's crazy because like they're like, we haven't had a death in 500 or 5 years in this conflict with the Legion, which is the autonomous drones. But the male main character, whose name is Undertaker, he's seen 500 of his 86ers die in battle, and they're just hiding this from the public. So it's like it's a really crazy show. I'm only 6 episodes in, but I'm loving it so far. If you like more adult themes in anime, this is a really good show to watch.
And I've had this on my watch, in my watch list for a little while now. Maybe this will be, the thing that pushes me to watch it because I've always heard it was pretty good. So,
oh, definitely, man, it's been awesome so far. And then the last show I'm watching, my little side piece, is our girl Suletta from Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. The second core is airing. Episode 17 was the latest. Obviously, it's Gundam, so it's done by Studio Sunrise. No questions there. So the series follows the exploits of Suletta Mercury, a young teenager from Mercury who, by orders from her mother, transfers to an academic institute run by mega corporations and attended by the children of the most powerful CEOs. So basically, the school trains children to work for this corporation and pilot Gundams. Or mechas, not Gundams. Gundams are bad. This is a really weird thing they have going on here where the Gundams use what's called the permit system,
Okay.
and that kills the pilot.
Oh.
So Gundams are banned. They're outlawed. They're bad. But for some reason, I'm not getting into the details. Suletta has a Gundam named Ariel, and she can pilot it without any issues. So she isn't affected by the permit system.
Okay.
I watched the first season last year, and it's kind of slice of lifey, so I wasn't feeling it too much. It kind of lost the Gundam to me because Gundam is very heavy into politics, into war, into, you always have the classic Earth versus space, like rivalry and battle there. And this didn't really have it, but holy shit, guys, Core 2 has come out guns blazing. Like, it is full on
Very
Gundam now,
good.
and I'm hyped for it. Like,
Cool.
there was a crazy bombshell like 2 episodes ago. Like, the most battles you got until the very end of season or Core 1 was like duels, which is like at the school, nobody dies, nobody kills anyone. They just chop off the horn of the mecha. But now we got terrorists, corporate takeovers, broken promises, double crossing, like all the things that make Gundam. And this season's been a banger. So if you like, Tyler would actually probably really like this show because it starts out slice of lifey, very high schooly, and then it gets fucking gas from there. So
I think
You
we
don't-
was gonna watch this for a first look at one point or something like that, and it fell through.
yeah,
Oh.
we were gonna watch it for a first look, but there was another very, very well-known anime podcast who conveniently did it the week before us. So I decided to throw a curveball to the guys right before we watched it, and we switched to Iron Blooded Orphans, which is also a really good Gundam. So
Yes, you don't ever have to convince me to watch Gundam. Love that stuff.
it's
I
fucking
might check it out. Is it? Do you have to see the other Gundams in order to watch this, or is this like a standalone?
it's a standalone. It's in a whole different time
Oh, awesome.
line. So yeah,
That's
you can
good.
just watch this from the get. My favorite character is probably Suletta's mom. She is a conniving. She's a conniving lady, and I
Oh.
like her.
I thought you was gonna say MILF, but okay.
I mean, she's bad too, but she's got a
Same
helmet on half the time.
Same.
If you know Gundam, there's always a character who wears a mask, and Suletta's mom is the one wearing the mask in this.
I
But
guess.
she's got a fucking vendetta, which they get right into in the beginning of season 1. So,
I'm with that.
but awesome, Tyler. You want to talk about your anime side pieces?
Yeah. So I got a couple shows that I'm sure the boys have never even heard of or watched. But
I've heard of them. I've heard of them from you
Yeah.
in the internet.
So the first one I'm doing now is called Ancient Magus Bride. This is like a shonen fantasy drama with some romance added into it. It's got 2 seasons right now, with the first being released back in 2017 with 24 episodes, and the second is currently airing in the spring season. It's scheduled with 12. They're both sitting around like an 8 on Mal, with a combined 1 million votes, with all but 120,000 being from the first season. So this is a pretty, popular show. Wit Studio animates it, and as we were talking about earlier, they've done like AOT, Vinland Saga, Spy Family, Ranking the King. So not too shabby, So basically, this is a show about a young woman that has no will to live because she lost her family and decides to like sell herself at an auction. And a mysterious mage creature thing goes and buys her, and she becomes his apprentice. And in doing so, she discovers like the world of magic that they live in, and meets all sorts of like mythical creatures, and actually discovers that she has hidden powers as well. And they just go on like dangerous adventures, and it explores, themes of love, self-discovery, and just supernatural themes as well. So I started this a while back, but stopped due to wanting to watch and finish up Fruits Baskets. while watching our rundown shows. But now that I'm finished with Fruits Baskets, which is amazing, by the way, Bells and I, she's in the Discord. We was having a great time watching together and discussing it and stuff like that. So, but I this I'm a handful of episodes in, loving the vibes that it gives out. Looks like it's gonna be action filled, sad, all the stuff that I love. So, uh, have y'all ever heard of it or no?
I heard
No.
of it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that count?
I thought this was gonna be an isekai no news, so I'm glad it's just a fantasy anime.
Well, I mean, this is something that y'all might actually like. It's got quite a bit of action in it, I think, and a supernatural fantasy drama. It's a shonen, so, but I don't know. Maybe,
Bottom
I'll add it
of
to
the
my
list.
anime list then.
Bottom of the list for when I get desperate.
Yo, no mercy.
I just love picking on Tyler, guys. You know that.
So I'll get in my second one real quick. It's called Oshinoko, and this is a seinen and seinen, however you say it. I always get mixed up with those, but it's actually an idol drama with supernatural and isekai elements. It's a spring 23 show, currently airing with 11 episodes. Manga come out in 2020, still going. The studio is Doga Koba, and it's I'd never heard of them before, but apparently it does like some really solid like romance drama slice of life shows like Plastic Memories and Shikimari's Not Just a Cutie, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. It's ranked around a 9 on Mal with over 400,000 votes, and it's a High Dive exclusive. So I'm watching this weekly, and after the first episode, which is actually being touted as one of the best first episodes of anime, and I can kind of agree that it probably has every right to be mentioned in that sentence.
Damn. Yeah, you
but
said
I don't know if it would
exclusive.
be
I was a little worried that you said first episode of anime of all time. I was like, okay, all right.
Oh, dude, this show was all over Twitter when it first dropped. Like, it was number one on my anime list for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad to see it's dropped below a bunch of peak shows like Full Metal, like Attack on Titan, Gintama. Like, it was like when it happened, I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit right here. Why are you giving a 10 to a show after what episode, guys?
Hey, that one episode, man, it was like almost an hour long, but damn, that shit, like I said, it was being put in the same conversation as the best first episode of anime ever, and that's pretty wild. And I don't know what the best first episode of anime is, but I could say this is one of my most favorite shocking episodes, first episodes. So, but yeah, like Dan was saying, it was at the top, and I think Full Metal Alchemist is sitting at like 9.10 right now, and Oshinoko fell down to 9.04. So it's not far behind. So it's still up there, but it's not number one no more. The Brotherhood, they come up,
as it
For
should
sure.
be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the difference
Cream of
was
the crop
like
right there.
the difference was like 3.5 million votes, and like I think Oshinoko is up to like maybe like 130,000. Like
oh, okay.
big difference.
Much smaller sample size.
Well, it's almost 500K now.
Oh, is it okay?
As
that's dope.
As the time of this.
I got a question though, guys. Like, out of the things that we've reviewed on the podcast so far, like, what's been y'all's favorite first episode? I know that's a hard question to answer, but like, does anyone
stick on the spot too?
Yeah, I know. This is not scripted, y'all.
Like first, like the first looks that we've done.
Yeah, I mean everything. Like, first episode. Like, I guess all the first episode that we've watched on this show.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think my top first episode of all time is probably Steins Gate or Tokyo Ghoul. So we haven't really talked about those, but those are fucking great first episodes.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Okay.
Yeah, that Tokyo Ghoul might be my first too. I actually forgot about that. So, but first episode for this, Uh, Probably looking at the list of everything we done, it
Mhm.
would probably have to be Buddy Daddies, honestly. Uh,
Ooh, sleeper choice. Okay, okay.
what's
Uh,
Um,
yours?
I'm gonna go Hell's Paradise. That was a
Really?
solid first episode, man. Yeah, we got to see Authentic Blaze. I said whatever it was. We got to see Gabi Morrow like try to get executed multiple times. Um, the fact that it caught the eye of Mother Bass here, also you know sticks out in my memory. So like yeah, out of what we've watched on the show, that's for Hell's Paradise. I think is my best first episode.
I guess if I got to pick one based on first episodes, I mean, we obviously watched it well before we started doing the podcast because it came out like 8 years ago. It's probably my hero for me. That's a really good first episode too.
Okay.
Solid, yeah, that's a good choice.
But we
Okay,
did cover, on the anime. I mean, the
Yeah.
podcast. So
yeah, I just yeah. Since you said that, I wanted to see what y'all's opinions were.
yeah. So I mean, it's definitely like crazy for this to be up there. Going back to Oshinoko, uh, this all I can say about this show is if you haven't checked it out yet, I don't really want to give a summary of it because it'll actually spoil the first episode for you probably. But you should check this out. Don't let the idolish look steer you away. It's an idol type anime, but it does a really good job of showing like the bad side of the idol industry as well as the good side. And we're not even talking about how like the revenge plot and the isekai genre factors into this show. It's pretty wild. It's a hell of a ride. Like I said, watch it on High Dive or hop up on the pirate ship. Go to Onagashimas. You know what I mean. So if y'all don't have High Dive. But my third choice would be my third thing I'm watching is Skip and Loafer, which is a very popular spring 2023 show, and it's currently airing with 12 episodes. It's classified as like a seinen romantic drama, and it's from a 2018 manga that's still going, and it's ranked in the eights, I believe, on Mal as of right now. The studio that does it is PA Works. They've done shows actually like Buddy Daddies, Angel Beats, and other. So pretty good shows under their belt. Um, like I said, I'm watching this weekly. This is your classic slice of life, following Mitsumi, the main character, who is from a small countryside school and town, and she is going to her new school in Tokyo, the big city. And it
Cute.
just shows a good tale about her aspirations of being a top government official one day and her struggle to balance like her newly built relationships with her goals and dreams of being a top government official one day. And also the other main character, her new best friend that she made, which is Shima Kun, whose past is shrouded in mystery, and he's the total opposite of her. He's kind of soft spoken, not nervous at all, calm, cool, collected, all that good stuff. It's just fun to see how each of these characters start adapting and changing for each other as they obviously slowly develop their relationship. And one of the things I really love about this anime, not talking about like slice of life stuff, is the opening. Uh, it's the song is called Mellow, and it's actually one of my favorite openings of Spring 23. If not my favorite. Oshinoko may be up there too. I'm not sure. Hell's Paradise is up there as well. But this OP, is just a bop. It makes you want to dance. I love it. So if you're a fan of rom coms, watch this. It's wholesome. It's got the Tyler seal of approval.
I can't believe you left Mashal out of the top OPs, dude. You
Oh
guys were
yeah.
all about the Mashal opening episode one.
Hey, I was just going off the top of my head. Mash was up there too, so it is. It's like dun 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 dun.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think it's
So,
an absolute banger.
but this OP, it's above Mashal for me just because it's so,
Okay,
fast paced. It makes you want to dance. It's so light
get
and
jiggy with
carefree.
it.
So animation is pretty awesome too. So yeah,
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Skip and Loafer from the Slice of Life crowd. So like, I'm glad you're really enjoying it. I don't think it's
Hey,
up my
it's
alley though.
the best slice of life show that's showed in the last couple, like I would say probably two seasons or three since Spy Family probably. So,
Oh,
but yeah.
Sheesh.
okay. Highly regarded by Tyler.
And the guy
I could-
does know a thing or two about Slice of Lives.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I
It's
respect
good.
it. Yeah.
It's got my seal of approval. So watch it.
I mean, it can have
Stamp
mine
that.
too. I'm not watching
Yeah.
it, but it can have mine too.
Oh.
I'll go off him. He knows what he's talking about. So listen to Toradora.
For real, yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate you hanging out for episode 16 of the Anime Degens podcast. Make sure to join the Discord. Let us know if you check out the movie we just reviewed, Walk On Girl, and make sure to let us know what you guys are watching. We'd love to hear your opinions on it so we can check out some more anime. Linktree.com/animedegens. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks, guys.
Later.
薄くない闇夜に咲いた赤い花滲んでく血を糧に